Join us at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex, where we will watch 2 runs at the East Coast Ranch Riding Association's annual championship show, held every fall over a 3-day span at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex in Harrisburg, PA. This facility is only 40 miles from my house, so even though I've kind of quit traveling long distances to horse shows, this is too close to pass up. I know too many people, and I have way too much fun. So I'm back here with a horse that I showed through the 2 of the 3 days. We're going to analyze 2 runs, one a winning run, one did not place, and consider why that was. In the meantime, here's a little view of the facility where we were showing. It is a very big-time facility at a very successful large show. Again, over 2,000 entries in a 3-day span. Very successful show, but I had a challenge. And we'll explain that in this little clip that'll come up in a moment. I had a shoulder injury, and I think this little clip explains where I was a few days before this show. I will share with you that in my left arm, that is currently my range of motion, trying to pick it up. Now down here it's okay. That is complicated by the fact that today is Sunday and next week is the biggest horse show of the year. A 3-day show that I'm planning on going to. I just got to hold my hand out there and hope she stays between my legs. This is a graphic of AQHA Ranch Riding Pattern 11, which was used for both of the 2 patterns that I'll be commenting on. As you can see, it's a pretty convoluted pattern with a couple of challenges built into it that may not be immediately apparent. First, the series of serpentines that begin the pattern have to be compressed pretty tightly in the bottom half of the ring so that you don't get yourself out of position for the lope over the logs that follows. This can get very tight if you don't sequence things properly, or worst case, if your horse leaks down past the logs, then you either have to cheat by coming back into the proper field, or you simply miss those logs, which would be an off pattern. So we're going to have one horse as a pattern marker. You'll see her, and I'll explain the pattern itself as she goes through her performance, and then we'll look at the 2 runs that we critique. Here we go. So here we go with our pattern marker. This is Caitlin Heckner with a lovely Mustang mare. It's wonderful, all the different breeds we have here. So there's the beginning of her serpentine. The first loop, she's back to the wall, she turns away, another loop at the working trot. Another loop back, and as she completes this leg, she breaks to a walk. At this point, she will walk a short distance and pick up an extended trot, a hard transition. She completes this loop, and you have to compress these loops pretty tightly because you don't want to get past the center of the arena or you'll overshoot those logs. At this point, as she comes around here, she breaks down to a regular trot and then picks up a lope. She steers left, and there are the logs. They come up on you fast. The little horse was just a little bit out of stride there, but she didn't break. This is an extended lope. She takes a little while to pick it up, but there you go. She comes across here, and you have the option to do a simple or a flying change. This is a relatively green horse, so she makes the wise decision to do a simple change from left to right. You now make a pretty compressed circle in the lower end of the ring, staying to the near side, you could say. Come past this pen, come to a stop, back up, side pass over to the gate. It's a left-hand push gate. You can change hands. That's completely legal, and you have to in most cases. So she's got that left hand engaged with the gate. She pushes it, walks through, maintains control of the gate, and has a little bump there, which happens in tight space with green horses. And she now rides around the plywood cow, because there were no actual cows involved, but it's a good little obstacle, comes back and reopens the gate. This is now from the right-hand side, so it demonstrates the ability to open a gate both ways. So again, you position yourself, you maintain control, you ride through. It's a push gate. And you move back over so that you can secure the gate again. And that completes the pattern. So I'm not going to comment or criticize at all on her ride. It's not my place to do that, but I'm going to get into myself. So the beginning is right there. This is a very edgy little mare. She's also a bit small for me, but you know I ride what I raise, and I raise what I ride, and she's what I've got. So there's a rough spot. And she got through it, but that's her natural tendency to be a little shattery. I don't think she was penalized too hard for it because she did well in the class, but I didn't like the feeling that she might leave me there. And you can see she's a little on edge, but she's starting to settle in. So here we do the walk, then we go directly into an extended trot. You can see I'm pretty conservative in this extended trot because you have to make a compressed turn at the end of it. And you're not supposed to go the whole way over to the far wall. You come along to this wall, come back and break to a regular trot, then you pick up your lope. And you make this left turn, and you've got those two, and that was good. That was a credit-earning maneuver. She's extending here about as much as you want to, given the space involved, because you only extend across there, and now you're back into a collected lope with a lead change. And I opted to do a flying lead change because this mare will do that, and it lets you show your horse to their best advantage. So she comes down here, and she makes a really nice, small, controlled circle, staying well over toward that pen so that you don't have to do an exaggerated side pass to close the gate. Stops in a collected way, backs up, and here comes a bit of a challenge for me. You see how high the gate is, the latch. With that bad shoulder on my left, it's almost impossible for me to reach it. What I have to do is reach over, take hold of the gate, and walk my hand up it, or else I wouldn't be able to reach up that high. And she doesn't like to wait. That's not her strong suit. So I'm still, you can see how awkward I am with that left arm. Hopefully that's going to improve over time. And that went a little smoother. I change back to my left hand for the upcoming right hand push. She circles the plywood cow. A few horses spooked at it. Most of them were really quite good. She steps over. It's a little bit easier this way for both of us. We swing the gate. And she says, this feels more like it's supposed to feel. She's much more relaxed. She didn't like how awkward I felt, frankly, and between you and me, I didn't like it much either. So here comes the second run, and this run fell apart. Subtly. It's not a huge problem. In fact, right now, she's doing better than she did the first time. She's relaxed. She's settled in. She's looking like she wants to be at a horse show. So we're making our loops, completing that second smaller loop at the working trot. Now we're going to walk and pick up the extended trot. So far, so good. So far, real good, except, and you can't see this from this perspective, more than I realized, I was beginning to let our motion carry us up the arena, which put me in a disadvantage, and you'll see this shortly. Okay, so we're coming back to the regular trot here, picking up the lope, and now we've got to steer over. But you see how little room I have, and she just broke, changed to the right lead, and I had to change her back. And that was the end of the class. Almost everything else in this ride was better than the first ride, but that basically put her out of contention. And that is how subtle it is, folks. You know, at these bigger shows, you don't get much slack. The judges don't need to give slack, and they shouldn't. So that was the big difference that you'll see here. Stopped fine, backed up well, side passes over to the gate, but my arm was about played out, and she was a little more antsy, and I couldn't cheat by getting my hand on the gate ahead of time like I wanted to, and I'm stretched out kind of to my limit, and I'm just having a tough time controlling the gate and my arm. So a little bit of a struggle there, which did not help the score, which sort of sealed my fate in the class. Not complaining, just a fact. And again, she's not the most patient horse. She can really work a gate, but I tend to do it pretty quickly and I hope pretty neatly. And in that instance, I couldn't deliver for her, and she got frustrated. Just circumstances, and that's horse shows. Now, this right-hand push gate is as good as it gets, and that makes me feel good. It's a good way to finish the pattern up. So there you have it, a winning run and a run which did not place. Both of them correct. You know, the first class earned me first from one judge, second from the other, and as you can see, I won't go into the rest of the weekend, but it worked out real well for us. It was a fun show. Thanks for coming along.